the implications for real estate is if you are into a deal this year, today, okay, and I go fully understanding of how I can leverage AI right now, in 5 years, the returns that I'm going to give you are going to be completely ahead of another company that is not.
This is your daily real estate syndication show. I'm your host, Whitney Sewell. We are back again today with Vanessa Alfaro, and she is, I hope you listened to yesterday. She's founder of 5 7-figure companies. And today she is so knowledgeable about artificial intelligence and how she is using that in her real estate business. You heard us talk about it yesterday, and we're going to talk about a number of other things about it today, but she's going to dive in. I want to know, hey, can we trust AI? What do you think about that now that you've been using this and have just really become an expert in so many aspects of it and how to use it? And I want you to listen to what she says, and I would love to hear from you. What do you think about AI? Would you leave a comment wherever you listen to this or email us info@lifebridgecapital.com? I would love to hear from you. If you have suggestions for the show, if you have guests you would like us to interview, if you have questions in your business or as a passive investor, we would love to hear from you. Enjoy this interview as we continue our conversation.
In this, and this is this year. So how far do you think we are of having managers in our properties that are AI?
Yeah, very soon. That's so impressive. I think some of this is so like hard to take in for most people, right? Like you can't even imagine that there's a machine that can comprehend all these things, right? Even you talking about asking the questions correctly, I think it's so crucial, right? Even in a conversation like this, well, depending on the question you ask, right, is it determines the answer often, right? Most more times than not that you get. And you talking about, well, tell them if you're an attorney or not. Tell them who your investors are, or like that's so I can understand why we need training, right? Why we need to be trained on how to utilize this machine. Really, I feel like it's kind of like you're setting somebody in a, or let's say you're setting a 10-year-old in a space shuttle, right? Like it's like, oh, what do we do? There's so many buttons and so many things to learn, and you can't almost comprehend all the buttons yet.
Well, what I say to people, just not to make you and your audience care about this, okay? It's like talking about, like you're talking to a human. So if you have an assistant and you need your assistant to book a flight, what do you say? Book me a flight? No, you give details. Okay, your assistant knows who you are, and your assistant knows that my name is Vanessa. I'm going to tell her, listen, I need a flight, and I need to go to this place. I'm going to go to Orlando, and I'm going to travel with my kids. I'm going to Disneyland. I also need you to book me a hotel. I'm going this day to these days. And by the way, I like to fly in this airline. Please don't give me another airline. And then I like to sit in the aisle, not in the hall. So I give details to my assistant. Otherwise, she's going to come back with something that I don't like. It's the same way that you deal with this machine. If you tell it exactly what you need, it's going to give you good answers. And this is mind blowing. But yesterday, 2 days ago, I got access to another version of ChatGPT when you has access to plugins. And the long story short, just something that you can use anytime, if you use those plugins, okay, you can actually do this reading of the PDF that I was telling you that you can do with Azure PDF. You can also do something very interesting. You can ask ChatGPT to create a meal plan for you, okay, depending on the specific needs that you have, the specific allergies that you have. Ask them to create a meal plan. Ask ChatGPT to tell you the list of the restaurants that can actually provide that type of meals for you. Ask ChatGPT to create a list of all the ingredients that you need to create all that meal, and then ask it to put it in the cart for you. And then you just click, and then you go to the website. It could be Instacart, and then you have all the ingredients there that you need for all that meal plan that you created. You can do the same with flies and on and on and on. So At the end, you have created, and what we have right now is an AI assistant to everybody. So if you have read this book, The Who Not How,
That's right. Got it
well,
right here. Yeah.
well, AI is your who. AI is the ultimate tool for everybody right now. If you are not leveraging in AI everything that you do, you're gonna spend the same amount of time, okay, and you are not gonna have the same efficiencies as any other person that they are.
One more question before we have to move on. We can talk about this on and on because it's so interesting. But I know a common question that the listeners have is how can we trust it? Right? I feel like we're not talking to somebody, right? We're talking to a machine. And I understand like it's right more accurate than most people could ever imagine being about almost anything, right? But still, I think it is going to be such a mental block for most people, right? Being able to trust a machine like this and asking these things. And what are your thoughts about just being able to trust it with those questions like that and using documents like that, even making investment decisions based on it providing feedback and things like that?
Yeah, it's the ethic implications of using AI are a big concern. Because if this goes into the wrong hands, mhm, then it's going to make decisions based on the interests of those wrong hands. I was thinking about this yesterday because I was checking a video about how we're going to use this in the medical industry. Okay. So in very, very short period, okay, not today, but maybe in a year or two, okay, like the people that read radiology, MRI, and all these, okay, documents, that will be an AI reading all this information, right? So someone will get the doctor will get to that report from the AI saying, okay, these are the most complicated cases or the more important cases that you need to take a look right now from hundreds of cases, right? Because now you don't have someone checking these one by one. Now, if this goes into the right hands, how you don't know that this AI is not putting, for example, rich people ahead of someone that is a minority, okay, into that list?
Yeah.
It's a very important concern. That's something that for me is very concerning. Okay. And everybody is concerned about this. Elon Musk was one of the ones that started ChatGPT with Sam Altman was Elon Musk. And now he's signing a petition to slow down the growth of AI. He just signed a petition 3 months ago. Same with the founder of Stable Diffusion as well, because the problem is that there is a mismatch in between the pace of people adapting to this technology and the pace of the growth of this technology. So we don't have enough time to adapt to all this. And if I give you this analogy, Whitney, do you remember those cell phones we had in the 80s? The white blood?
Yeah.
Well, 7 years later, the BlackBerry came. And BlackBerry was, oh my God, amazing. It was the best. Okay. And then we had to wait 8 years for the iPhone. So that took 15 years in that big blog was fun. It was like about $10,000 today. And the first iPhone. Okay. So this technology is moving that fast. That is like maybe today we have this white cell phone, okay, from the 80s. And then in a year, we have a BlackBerry. And in 6 months, we have the new iPhone. There's no time to adapt to this. So going back to the ethics implications, there is a lot of concern about copywriting. There is a lot of concern of how these machines are going to learn themselves. Okay. Who are teaching these machines? Who blocking certain dangerous uh, ideas, I would say. And we don't know where this is going.
Yeah.
But the same way people was fear At the same fears, I don't know, when social media was there and we managed to do that, there is still danger in social media, right? If you use it in the wrong way. Say with electricity. I mean, if there is something wrong with electricity, you can get a fire. Okay? It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. It's here, it's gonna stay. We have to embrace it. We have to learn. Okay. And I am one of those positive person. I am on the side that I believe this is going to go the right way. I just hope that this doesn't get into the wrong hands.
Vanessa, it's man, we could keep talking about AI. I think it's such a new thing, right? And I think it's something that, man, you're right. We're gonna have to embrace it one way or the other, and could be so we will learn to be so much more efficient with tools like this, or we'll be left in the dust. I'm afraid, right?
And
But
the
yeah,
implications for real estate are very important. Okay.
yeah,
And this is what we were talking about. The implications for real estate is if you are into a deal this year, today, okay, and I go fully understanding of how I can leverage AI right now. In 5 years, the returns that I'm going to give you are going to be completely ahead of another company that is not forward thinking as I am. Because in 5 years, they're going to have way more expenses and
yeah.
they, they won't be able to compete with me. So in every industry, but in real estate, I think this is very detrimental.
All right, Vanessa, a few final questions. What are some of the most important metrics that you track? It could be personally or professionally.
For real estate,
It could, yeah, it could be your bench press number, or it could be your, it could be a real estate metric that you track. It could be something in your marketing, anything. What are some
oh
of the
my,
most important metrics?
I track everything. We use the EOS system, which is the entrepreneurial operating system. And we have a scorecard and we track everything on the asset management aspect. I track things every week. Okay. So with the idea of not waiting that we receive a T12 or a P&L, okay, I will see that everything is off track. So we track turnarounds of the units when people, how long do they take to make ready that unit? How long does it take the people to move in? How long we track everything. We track how many people walk into that door. Now with AI, it's going to be much easier because we don't have to trust that it's a number that someone else is telling me. We will just have it right there and we will know exactly how much it is. So we will be more accurate. And we track everything in acquisitions. We track in marketing. We track in customer service. In my life, I track everything. How many times I drink water.
Wow, no, that's also, or yeah, you don't know if you're improving if you're not tracking it, right? What about a couple habits that have produced the highest return for you?
Habit that has produced return for me. I would say that innovation again,
Yeah,
because I'm always thinking how to do things different. Even before AI, we were always thinking, how is everybody is going this way, where we can go. And uh, last year we just bought 4 deals, not much. It was actually 2 portfolios. That's how much we purchased last year. But we were looking into the market was so crazy and all the cap rate was so compressed. Okay. So we could not follow everybody else and going into these crazy bridge loans. So actually last year we did not buy anything into bridge loans. We were very clear on what we were looking for because we knew something like this was coming. So we tried to go into different markets. We were looking how everybody is going. We want to go somewhere else. So I think that having the idea of innovation and doing things different, it has been very important for the business.
and how do you like to give back?
Oh wow, that's another podcast. I has been very involved into philanthropy. I have here in the US, I have one that I love. It's called Invisible People. Okay. And he actually creates content to educate people about homeless and what is the real issue about homelessness. And it's not what people think. So he goes around the world, okay, to many countries. He lived here. He's the founder. I met him actually about 12 years ago. Oh, I met him in 2006 when all the breakthrough of social media. And I was invited to a global summit of 100 entrepreneurs and social media founders that were working on making the world a better place. So it was actually about how to use social media for good.
Wow.
And I met Jack Dorsey from Twitter. I met Mark from Invisible People. And I has been very involved into philanthropy. Many times are not the same organizations that you will usually hear. Okay? I like to go to other smaller organizations that are doing something different. And listen, that's one thing. But on the other side, I try to also I don't try. I do dedicate enough time to my kids, okay? Because I believe they are the future. Every kid in this world, they are the future, and this is what they're going to create with this world depend of them. So I have to dedicate more time. But my teachings to my sharing of the knowledge, okay, to everybody else cannot be bigger of what I do to my kids.
Hmm. Vanessa, grateful for your time and really sharing your expertise and helping all of us kind of get on the bandwagon here of AI. I feel like so many of us are way behind already, right, on learning of what this could do for our businesses. And so just thank you for just really breaking it down very simple in the beginning, but then even going into some very specific ways for our investors and us as operators, how, the ways we could really benefit, from these platforms. Thank you so much for your time. How can the listeners get in touch with you and learn more about you?
Of course. Thank you for asking. Well, if you go to my website, it's venuspartners.com. I also have, and I invite you to download this ebook that I have about AI and entrepreneurship. I think I have a lot of AI listed in that document that you can check, review, see what is important for you, and please just play with what you think is going to help you in your business and in your life, because this is overwhelmed. And then you can spend so much time learning about this and so much time playing with this. I can even tell you that then you lose focus. So my business is real estate. It's not AI. I just love technology and I love innovation. So I spend some time learning about this and trying to catch up with what is new and what is applicable to my business. But please go and download that ebook, okay? And just remember as well that this can be a shiny object, okay? So use whatever is going to help you in your business and in your life. So my website is venuspartners.com. And you can also sign up for our newsletter as well. Okay. I talk about AI just in applications for real estate sometimes. So if you want to catch up with that, just sign up for our newsletter. And remember that AI, and I say that AI is going to bring some of our biggest freedoms to life. AI is going to help us to create financial freedom, time freedom, and geographical freedom. So I invite you to get involved into AI and witness what your business can do and how you can thrive, okay, in ways that maybe you will never imagine.
Thank you for being with us again today. I hope that you have learned a lot from the show. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you're telling your friends about the Real Estate Syndication Show and how they can also build wealth in real estate. You can also go to lifebridgecapital.com and start investing today.